Officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call.
Billy Majon, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database. Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Cape Side Apartments, it says. That's all.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day. Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other day.
Maurice, what? A woman yells. Then, yes, okay, if it was the police. She starts explaining something.
Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87. But we don't have it yet.
Good. You have a name now.
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
And then goes for a little drink later. On the lookout.
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. Marie? She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him. 1 second. What was he wearing? Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Anything else you need from me? Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Just a second, officer. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? No, not me. What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the union already knew about the court. No one calls the police. The union would get angry. You know, what the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Garbage.
I don't know what to tell you, officer. I didn't call you because I didn't want to get in trouble with the others. With the union. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, go on.
You hear the call breaking up.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker. 10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to use it.
Feels good to get that off your chest, right? Celebration with beer?
10-4, sir. Sorry, but I'm under orders to give a negative to request for personal information. 10-4. Orders are still orders. Anything else? Over. Roger that, 1010, over and out.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile. I'm...
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you? I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck. It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. Call them revolutionary flowers. Bells of the revolution. You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the idea for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston, but not while we have company. So, officers.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you have to wait for at least a month.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel he has the right to speak on the matter.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just learning to walk and talk.
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. You... No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage. Peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sweet, sweet, of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sure, officer. They are the good guys around here. What do you need? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard of.
There he stands, proud,
Let's try not to get caught in a...
lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. Not in the technical sense.
Of course, I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case.
Yes?
You keep coming back!
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can. The speaker's below. You should go over and ask him about paying for those sneakers with your net worth. A pair of...
Those sneakers, mister.
Only? That's madness.
shine on these.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
You keep coming.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can. You find the box smells like...
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click.
Das ist eine river show. Das is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrete on your porter reel. The tape stops spinning.
End of recording. Corty could be short for Cortenard, one of the other mercenaries, the one he was talking to. Probably the mountain at the harbor gates. Mr. Right to Work. A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about. Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. We would need... It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls. Still,
there's more going on here than we know.
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony.
to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand? Fucking bug.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, cracking somewhere, an earpiece.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This isn't. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea. Silence. He takes the photo. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy, hard as a stone. But beneath it, you see dead flesh in colourful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in. Yeah.
He's clenching his teeth. There is silent pressure behind.
What it means.
In what must have been Seminine.
I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here? Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benital, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission.
Benital is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminese archipelago near the Pale. Covered in jungle, it was anchor point for the Seminese nationalists in the proxy war held on the islanders' territory.
He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kipped villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. last moment to back off.
What's the matter, militiaman? No stomach for it? This man was worth
I think we should maybe even get going.
There is absolutely no need to push this any further.
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have...
The man's breathing steadies.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. This does not surprise her.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions, only that he was never bad to me. Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? Then you didn't get the greatest hits, officers. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Cow-Holly style? He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little cohoy. It wasn't his everything. No, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, and then had to internalize them to keep on living, until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for? Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funky. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Cohoy massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezud all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He and Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start. We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations recorded neatly in blue ink. The last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
The Lelystad municipality has few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gottwald. Executive summary: cows, silos, and wheat. Oranje? Oranje's map of waterways? This fits with his tattoo.
You were almost right, officer. That means his race was occidental, not mondial. I'll update the form.
Yes, we were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No, he was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrek. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Sex. Alcohol.
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no. We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
Looks like you were right, officer.
Points are good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die. The young woman looks at you, then the lieutenant. She's clearly sensing something. A spike in testosterone levels, perhaps.
Blue. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth?
Yes. severe. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone. Oily, isn't it? We have that in common now.
She understands what autopsies entail. It doesn't get her off balance. The young woman nods.
Oh, that. It was a map of his life and the places he visited as a soldier. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. How? Imagine him lying in bed, freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason.
Is this Oranise lit?
Yes. This is the very essence of Oranise lit. A moment's respite, dark and hopeless as the struggle itself. He's smoking and drinking, of course, and his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?" And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths." And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. Oh yeah. No, thank you. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
Go on.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Oranje needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people on the Semenine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself. It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic? A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil. How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself.
It's quite expensive, miss, but we'll manage without your help for now.
In
Lelystad, Oranje.
This means his race was Occidental, which fits the statements of another witness.
Her eyes follow yours on the piece of paper. She doesn't mind this questioning. On the contrary, she enjoys thinking back to him now. This is a sort of wake for her.
He was 40.
42? Are you sure?
He had many scars. We even celebrated.
Looks like you were right.
Points are good. Have one.
It isn't. Police work is
There is no challenge without competition. This is clearly sports for him. Something like archery or darts.
That's too pinball for me. I just like to get autopsies right on the first try. Where were we?
Yes. part in the sweat.
He had a combat wound?
Yes.
Ah,
It was light brown, almost blonde.
no. Okay, sure. Here you go. What else are we missing, officer?
A real ring. How much does...
It's quite expensive, miss. All right.
Coolly, gracefully. Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42? Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of morality. He was 42 years old? How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies? You could ask either one of them.
Huh? How old? 58? You asked. Actually, make that 54. Alcoholism has severely, and I was wrong about the age of the...
Wait. This requires scientific measurements. To the laboratorium.
Yes, what is it?
Okay, but...
Max, I know. Pump it!
Glue stuff.
See?
Of course it is.
Yeah!
Never mind.
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air.
Born ready.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Not so suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You disengage.
No wind outside. The woman looks in the silence. A low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you. Not in the speakers. Not in... It's out there now. In the world. Made manifest. It will devour everything. The floorboards. The glass. The streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys,
What's going on? It's getting louder.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dark!
No, Egg! It's the window!
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible...
The window is going to come down! No, the roof!
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to us!
It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists. A great pulse arises in your flesh.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Shit! It doesn't stop.
A seal? Have you?
Yes, I've turned it off. Andre, pull the compressor. The plate.
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
In the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. And then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswov isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again. It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Sulispov. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you. You just don't have the pieces yet. You don't know enough about the world. But that Joyce, if you knew all she knows, could put it together.
Good morning! Yeah! Harder car! Yeah! It was awesome and scary. Very hardcore. Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it at all. It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme.
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power.
Oh! I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sounds that the future could make. Yeah!
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate, in your heart that's alone, and in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every caudate animal.
What? Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that? I'm sorry,
He feels ashamed he can't be of more service to the future of dance music. The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his smile, as if it could hinder your investigation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Fan 8's jam.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell. That's just an idea.
Anyway, that's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman! Tape! Yeah! Spins the tape until the space escape! Yeah! Alright! No! No, no! This is gonna make people scared! Keep it positive! Keep the love in the house! Righteous! No! No, can't do! This is gonna make people sad! This isn't sadcore! Yeah! No nation, but transnation! No war, but class war!
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as fault reading.
Yeah! Reversion imperative!
Unless you were thinking Reversion imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with Eggs yelling. I know what you mean.
Hardcore superstar!
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Elysium. She was a communist, though.
Yeah!
with a rebel yell! Yeah! The Accord Hardcore! Jermaine Egghead!
Basically, yes it is.
Lungs are for love! Love! In a woman's lungs! Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid! This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on, 'cause I've never loved someone like you before!
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipating into your neck. Feels good, like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call your body.
Lungs are for love! When Dolores Day was anointed innocence, her lungs started glowing through her body.
Why wouldn't they be? Are the lungs not the place where you hold the breath of your soul?
Love! In a woman's lungs!
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels
Yeah, ecstatic vibe. Now the only thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honours, detective? The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just...
Andre's overthinking it.
Yes, you should do it, detective.
Noid's right. You've helped us so much. It's the right thing to do.
How about something simple? Like the club?
Too modern and too ironic. We don't want ironic. We want real. Real and true and beautiful. Like a morning after the rave.
Yakukata! Yakukata! The place to be!
Yeko Qatar, the zone of ecological catastrophe. That's too morbid, Egg. Got anything else?
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega!
No, it has to be bigger than hardcore. Yes, it has to be even bigger than hardcore to the mega. It has to be bigger than the scene.
The amnesia.
Like the... I can't remember the name of the club, Amnesia.
Amnesia!
It's not amnesia, guys.
I don't.
Good. We have too many opinions anyway.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't build a club, and I wouldn't name it either.
An underground place with no name? Sounds like something the Crabman would say.
We're not going with anything the Crabman would say.
Why not? The Crabman has ideas, Estelle. Ideas from another level of consciousness.
I don't care. I don't like the Crabman, and I don't like his ideas. His ideas are spooky. Next, please.
You have? Well, what's the name?
Like that DeLorean word for the world, you mean? Elysium.
But Disco Elysium? Isn't it wacky? Disco's kind of gone, isn't it?
The past is the future, but the future is dead!
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful and brave. Like we want it to be.
And short. And memorable.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to Disco Elysium.
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to celebrate the name. Someone turns up the beat.
I'm dancing!
That soft core gyrating is supposed to be dancing?
Yes, my man!
Talk? What is there to talk about if you can express yourself with moves? Audio waves thump against your ribcage. The speaker setup makes everything sound much better. But there's a noticeable lack of something.
It's to express my individuality.
Is that a bald spot? It's hard to tell for sure with the fused together spikes, but it looks like he's balding.
Of course it is. Otherwise, I'd just be another poor guy with no education and no money. General issue, man. Now I'm all that, and I have radical spikes. All because I'm balding, yes. I want to fuse the remains of my hair together before it leaves me. I want to show my hair. I don't give a fuck how old you think I am. I'm 20. Not 20. Maybe it was a bad idea. Anyway. Goodbye, officer.
You got us in!
With wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority. But you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Estelle using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass.
Okay.
What he means is, you're right actually. The tent was a safety hazard and this place was deserted anyway.
It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more. That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude, the sea, perhaps something more fundamental.
He means something paranatural. He must...
I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well. Maybe they were unable to face the nature of the world, perishing. A cop who's into building critique. Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism, lawmongerer. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture. Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just an homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? Like that woman there. Vertical, thin, white. A false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures. Arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know. Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny. Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside, before the sea wind took all the paint off.
Year after year, flake after flake, whitewashed clean, then covered in green moss.
Dead bodies of perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. A Sarais man who lived a long time ago. An ancient hardcore brother. It never was. A 3,000-year-old regime of history, built by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false to the core. I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority always misquote you. Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiastes. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are. Anodic dance music. Regular...
You know what this kind of stuff goes well with.
I don't. Fuck her giving me the evil eye. I didn't know it was in here. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a job.
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a
mass murder on the floor.
The world spirit does not have a body. It has organs. Hardcore is an organ of the world spirit. This Arno van Eyck track is an organ. The carpentry and glass cutting that built this house are also organs. She's a thief, if you ask me. An organ thief. All innocences are. Humanism leads to eating sugar and pigs. Humanism was invented to mass-produce billions of humans. Billions of humans can mass-produce hundreds of billions of pigs.
And many, many more tons of sugar.
She liked games. Her legacy, the thing we live in, isn't real life. It's a strategy for some kind of victory against a long-dead opponent. But, yo, I'm only annoyed. What do I know? She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconographers. You set the standard, alright. Then you meet it. It's effective like that, but it is also very soft of core. That so-called beauty of hers. You may be onto something, Copper Man. She's got those mass-murdering hips. I like this question, Cop Man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who's playing a game. The life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent or some shit like that. Well, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot all about the rest of us. No one says Arno van Eyck is a mass murderer. The Anodic pioneer Rietveld is not a mass murderer. Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers. You can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. Just not her. There is. She is a party repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here.
The speed freak's eyes narrow with
It's not coming down. People are gonna love it. It'll be like our thing. Plus it keeps the cold and the rain out.
What a strange choice of words. Caustic, overflowing with negativity. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window? Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't come back to this anymore. Stop talking about it, please.
The mass murderer? Why? Okay. Odd to say, I did get to talk to the crabman though. Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us. The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. Good thing you didn't squash him. The crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus. Not like a literal sarcophagus. Encasement, confinement, of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it. I don't know. And it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this Sona person is looking for. And trying it'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't. Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance. Like a concentric ring spreading out, the struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure has gone down around here. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's not even a thing we can answer, Cop Man. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person. Maybe you can figure things out, Cop Man. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well. Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced. It's short for paranoid. A reasonable question. Say I get hurt. I want to make sure it never happens again. So I analyse the situation. Exercise caution. It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on.
I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm.
Something is off here. You feel like it should be the other way around.
I prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray, far from our true lives, but we may yet find...
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology.
It's only our shit. We should make better use of not being animals, or cereal grain, ourselves. Yes, having food is means to an end, but the left never talks about the end, only the means. Caps are likewise suckers, constantly sleepless in worry. It's only our shit. We should make better use of not being animals, or cereal grain. Nothing. Animals are cool, guys. I like animals too, but that doesn't mean I have to be one myself. No, politics is an inert complex of daily corruption and inane think pieces. The real paradigm is economic, and it concerns pig and wheat. This is where the innovation happens. It's only a theory, but I suspect they're breeding a pig-wheat hybrid. Probably in Grad.
His eyes flicker.
A life is true if it's free from fear, an internal division among oneself, and others. Mankind has seeds of greatness in it. A germinal will come, a return to trueness. It will be hardcore. Beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods. Nerve impulses for the collective body. We are very much alike in basic structure. An hard enough beat would awaken everyone to a truer calling. In unity.
Just like that. The speed freak is right in your face, his eyes burning. His comrades look on worriedly. The young man is dead serious about this. Rejection of the right-left axis. Emphasis on unity. Appreciation of some primordial mode of being. What does that remind you of?
Nationalism, militarism, racism, and emphasis on a leader character are totally absent in hardcore. If some want to lead and others want to be led, I think they are welcome to it. Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat at their art. Thus, they are closer to true, hardcore life. There's just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely basic percussion. Utmost dedication, thoughts from the spinal cord. It's a potent superlative as well.
The term also signifies certain varieties of pornography that depict penetration, just so you know.
Egghead usually has a better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore.
Hardcore!
That's a pretty hardcore coincidence, don't you think?
Yeah!
Many non-Occidental cultures share a... Oh yeah, sure thing. Dead body, spirit entered. What is there to... Sure. They're hardcore. They're just clothes. Nah, it's just a vest with suspenders made to resemble a human ribcage. Plus some lady clothes to piss off the sex system. Now tell me about that hardcore necktie. It's fucking primal. It looks like you're trying to hang yourself with it. So large too. So many different patterns. It's crazy, man. I like it.
You suddenly realize the patience and respect this speed freak has shown you is partly because of your style. He's probably not like that with everyone.
Respect to the man!
Aggressive, monotonous, but also somehow sacrum, primitive, yet futuristic, like a machine man. Nothing. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees. She's whistling a melody, her trusty contact mic attached to a wooden pulpit.
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sounds travelling through the wood are pretty cool. Creaks and stuff. Like you're underwater, you know? But like, underwater inside a tree. And no, it's got nothing to do with contact mic. No. I actually wanted to thank you for getting me and my friends in here, and we even found some new associates, such as they are. Good, I think. Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sauna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does behind that radio computer of hers. She doesn't talk to us much, and the crab man hasn't shown himself, thank God. Sure. You helped us out. I can repay the favour. What do you want to know? Ah, she's a bit odd, I have to say. Doesn't talk much. I'm not really sure how to vibe with her, you know? Seems like she's not in a very good mood most of the time. But earlier today she told me about Welkins? And she seemed oddly happy, like she had some idea with those little creatures. Some artistic idea. I didn't really listen, I was busy with my mic. Oh, the crab man. Still gives me the creeps the way he moves. But he doesn't actually come down that much, just climbs around the rafters. I just tried to stay away from the crab man. But he talks to Noid. They seem to have some thing going on. Beats me. Noid said they get along somehow. They're both crazy enough, I guess. Who knows? He doesn't really answer our questions, see? Not that it's easy to ask them. What are we supposed to do, yell up at the tower? Who do you want to know about? Andre? He's a cool guy. Doesn't really come off as one, but he is. To me, at least. He takes care of shit. Sorry. I mean, he's got a vision. For what life should be, you know? He tries to push things until everything falls into place. He's an organiser. Nothing. But then again, there's nothing to organise around here either. He really wants this church thing to work. Must have taken it as a sign when he found it abandoned like that. Said it was an augury. I don't know where he got that from. Andre's not super intelligent. I've never seen him so psyched about anything though. And he's often psyched. Looks sort of desperate, like it's his last chance or something. Or maybe he was just high. I mean, not that he does drugs, just high, you know. Yes. Anyway. Yes. Who do you want to know about? He's a four-burger, I guess, like the rest of us. Okay, maybe not Egg, I don't know about him, but Noid and the rest are from Forberg, making the pilgrimage up north to visit the Elysium. He's real hardcore about the lifestyle. What do you mean do? Like for a living? He's a carpenter, trained and all. He's very good, he just doesn't have the mindset to work like that, in a shop somewhere. Not to sound too dramatic, but I wouldn't make light of his belief system when he's around. Noid's a serious person. He's serious about the lifestyle. It's just something poor Forberg kids do every spring. To pass the time, we walk the entire length of Boogie Street, up to Jamrock, or as much as possible. I don't know, man. Have you been down Boogie Street? It's a little bewildering. No? Okay. Then you should go and take a look, I guess. Boogie Street is cool. It's got a lot of immigrants and all kinds of different people. Yeah. Who do you want to know about? What do you mean? Oh, that. He's the party boy. Anodic music doesn't really do vocals in the traditional sense. Vocals are thought of as rock. That's to say they're a bit backward. No offence if you like rock music though. Rock music's cool by me.
Pachoo, swish. Your credentials as the resident future man of Revachol are being questioned. Show her you're hip with the times, Gramps.
Anyway, even if you don't have vocals, you still need someone to say something every now and then, right? To urge things on. That's where the party boy comes in. He basically just stands on the stage and dances and yells how awesome everything is. It's very catchy.
I understand. People are usually afraid to do things if others aren't already doing them. Dancing makes you dance, like sneezing makes you sneeze, or yawning makes you... Anyway.
Actually, We don't know where he's from, or who he is, really. One time we were out partying somewhere in backwater Forburg. Or maybe even Coal City.
The worst of the banlieues. A wretched heap of closed-down mines, even west of Jamrock, on the dusty slope of Montmartin, the remotest possible area of Revachol. No one even wants to exploit those people anymore.
Egg was yelling along to some jam someone was spinning, all night long. Just kept yelling until he didn't have a shred of voice left. When the sun came up over the mines. There were mines? Yeah, it was in Coal City. Ed came with us. He made this wheezing puppy dog sound all the way back. Couldn't even speak. It was definitely Coal City, because it took us 2 days to walk back to the fort. He just wheezed the whole way. We never really asked why he came with us, or who he was. I think his name is Jermaine. People are sweet.
You can see it must have been a great night. The memory causes her to go silent for a moment or two. You wish you'd been there.
Who do you want to know about? Me? Again? I told you, I'm a silver bird.
There's that phrase again. Really reminds you of something.
It means I don't answer questions about myself. Is there a law that would stop me from lying, though?
That would depend on the circumstances.
Thank you. Sure.
Oh, hey, man. It's good to... Goodbye, officer. Yo, man. What's on your mind?
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext, Young Carp, and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. Would not